kita masuk pasti dijaga, jadi harus kita kena out dulu. Ini sangar sih, siang hari. Jangan ditiru ya. Kecuali kalian kuat mental ini. Kita ambil kuncinya. Oke, terus aku tutup. Kalau kita jalan pasti dilarang. Jadi kita pancing ke sana. Sini dulu deh. Kok nggak bergeming deh. Nah. Apa? Terus kita buang sebelah sini. Nah, waktu dia jalan sana, kita jalan sana ya. Kita datangi ya. Oke, sekarang waktunya. Kalau sudah, langsung kita bekep. Siap-siap kalau kanan. Oke, nggak ada perlawanan ya. Nice. Oke, halo semua. Kembali bersama Tato. Kita kembali lagi di game Kingdom Come Deliverance yang kedua, atau disingkat KDC kedua. Masih di video untuk menyelesaikan misi wedding Kreyzl ya teman-teman. Tapi aku akan memilih jalur Miller Krezyl. Maka dari itu kita anggap aja video ini 5C, karena kita ngambil misi yang C ini teman-teman ya. Kalau di video sebelumnya aku menjelaskan kalian untuk menyelesaikan misi wedding Kreyzl ini dengan cara pindah ke B ya teman-teman, yang di atas ini, dengan menyelesaikan blacksmith Radovan. Kalau sini aku akan menyelesaikan khusus untuk Miller Krezyl. Oke, lanjut kita menuju ke C ya teman-teman. Karena belum kebuka jadi aku jalan aja ini. Dan inilah dia Miller Krezyl. Selamat menyaksikan, misi dimulai.
I hear you let your hands fight each other. Could I have a go too?
Who told you about that?
Hensel told me. He said I can join if you allow it.
Hensel did? What a blabbermouth.
So can I join in?
Well, all right, since you already know about it. Them three slackers of mine ain't exactly had their finest hour in Zhelyov. Maybe they could learn something from you.
To Zhelyov, you say?
Aye. Once in a while, I send my strongest hand there to test his mettle against the locals. He earns a few groschen, and I sleep better at night when folk around know I have a hulk of a man like that here.
And if I beat your hands, would you send me to Zhelyov? I could also use those groschen.
We'll see. You ain't beaten no one yet. Take care.
Jadi untuk pembuka ini Miller Krezyl nggak mau ya teman-teman ngasih sembarang misi. Jadi kita harus menunjukkan kekuatan kita dan mengalahkan semua anak buahnya. Ada 3 ya. Kita ajak mereka brawl satu-satu, berantem. Enteng banget sih musuh sama Hensel ini. Karena yang paling easy sih Hensel ini. Aku juga pede sih dengan perkelahian tangan kosongku. Belum terluka sama sekali, dia sudah bersimpah darah si Hensel. Oke, tahap 1 selesai. Kita lanjut lagi ke lawan Malik teman-teman ini. Dia sudah siap-siap ini kayaknya. Udah diem di depan. Oke, langsung. Jangan kasih ampun. Gas langsung. Tendang, pukul. Mumpung dia lemes sih. Terus. Stamina habis gak apa paksa ya. Dia sudah lemes kayak. Oke, kletek. Pukul sekali lagi cukup ini kayaknya. Ayo. Gak pas. Oke, nice. Oke, tinggal satu lagi. Kita ngelawan bosnya di sini yang paling kuat sih, Vira ya teman-teman. Hensel dan Malik, aku berhasil mengalahkan mereka berdua dengan sempurna tanpa tersentuh satupun. Tapi nggak tahu nanti kalau lawan Vira gimana ini. Katanya sih Vira paling kuat di sini. You're going to be much worse when Vira's done with you. Semua antisipasinya kayak gitu. Tapi harusnya sih iya bener sih, harus lebih susah lawan Vira sih. Gak mungkin komputer AI developer bikinnya gampang semua. Ternyata dia bisa jadi guru kita ya, si Malik ini. Ngajari apa dia? Harusnya pertarungan tangan kosong ya. Ini thievery, thought, drinking, unarmed. Oke, perkelahian tangan kosong, pencurian, minum-minuman, sama mengendap-endap. Oke, next kita akan belajar dia. Lumayan bayar dapat skill ya.
It's just me now.
Bukan skill sih, experience point. Oke, langsung ke lawan Vira sekarang. Wah, lumayan ya. Wah, aku salah sih tadi. Tapi sakit loh, antep. Kena pukul muka dia berkurang segitu. Ya, oke. Oke, sip. Nah, wis. Cepet loh, gesit loh. Ini. Loh. Tadi Malik kita pukul berapa kali dah? Lumayan berkurangnya ini, agak susah ini. Agak atos. Fight lah. Oh, kita kacaukan pikiran. Karena kita yang terkacau ini. Aduh. Slow. You're no match for me. Waduh, kok malah semakin ngenyek, semakin ngata-ngatain malah kita yang kalah terus. Jaga jarak dulu. Oke. Main standar guys. Oke. Dia nginggati terus loh. Oh no. Ayo. Bisa. Oke. Dia lagi lemah. Oke, enggak. Sudah berkurang setengah stamina kita ya, nggak bisa full ini. Oke. Harusnya dia stamina juga berkurang sih. Waduh, tinggal dikit. Oke, sekarang hajar terus. Oke. Last. Last kali pukul. Iya, sip. HP sudah kita tinggal dikit ya. Nice. Good job, Henry. Sudah ngelawan Vira. Mayan. Emang agak dibuat susah ya lawan Vira ini. Nggak segampang yang sebelum-sebelumnya.
Where did this fella come from?
Sip. Berarti kita sudah selesai ya. Musuh 3 orang anak buahnya Miller Krezyl. Jadi setelah ini kita bisa mengajukan ya misi selanjutnya ke Miller Krezyl.
I know. Once a fight starts, my mouth takes on a life of its own.
Kira-kira tugas apa ini yang menanti?
Kreyzl. He could send you to Shell.
Pasti kerjaan yang nggak bener sih kayak Miller Krezyl ini ya teman-teman. Oke. Aku sudah mengalahkan semua anak buahmu.
Seems I defeated all the hands you have here.
Even Vera? Well, hats off to you then. Listen, what if I sent you to Zhelyaoff instead of him? You up to it?
Sure. Why not?
Great. I'll pay the entry fee and wager a pile on you, so you better win. And if you want to train a bit more, just punch the shit out of them sissies of mine.
Ternyata nggak jadi misinya berantem apa-apa ya, malah dikirim keluar kota atau apa. Ternyata kita misinya enteng-enteng aja. Setelah ini memindahkan tepung dari gerobak ke gudang. Ini ya. Nggak tahu berapa kali harus PP ini bolak-balik. Tapi kayaknya kita hari ini tidur dulu aja karena HP ku berkurang banget. Oke, ini ya, tak ambil 1. 3 kali ya, kita ngambil ternyata bukan dari gerobak ke gudang, tapi kebalik dari gudang ke gerobak teman-teman. Ini aku skip aja ya teman-teman, soalnya nggak tahu berapa kali ya aku harus bolak-balik ini mindahin karung dari gudang ke gerobak ini.
What the hell is in this thing?
Mungkin sekalian setelah ini aku nggak ada komentar ya teman-teman di video kali ini, karena memang misi dari Miller Krezyl ini panjang banget untuk menyelesaikannya. Jadi aku nggak ngasih komen, kalian bisa fokus untuk cerita di gameplay di video kali ini, karena memang banyak banget ceritanya di sini, panjang. Oke, selamat menyaksikan video Tatuto di episode kelima C, menyelesaikan misi wedding crasher jalur Miller Krezyl.
Fuck, that's heavy. Oh, I'm sweating like a pig.
You got it done. I said, are you done?
You're milling some pretty peculiar grain here, Miller. It's got a bit of a metallic flavour to it.
Kurwa. Can't you be more careful?
Tell me the truth. What are you really doing here?
Seems I'll have to lift the lid off the cauldron of knowledge sooner than I expected. You think you're ready?
Don't change the subject.
I'm not. I'm attempting to convert matter into a truly miraculous energy.
What?
I understand. It seems impossible. I'm sure you're asking yourself what that has to do with the metal in the sacks. But we're only just scratching the surface. You see, for my experiment, I'll need something sinfully earthy. Something we'll have to appropriate. And that's something you can help me with, my curious apprentice.
I'll help you.
That's the right attitude. Now listen up. In Troskovitz, next to the tavern, there's a rat house. And in that rat house, there's a chest. And in that chest is a document I need. One that used to be mine. But due to an unfortunate twist of fate, ended up there. It's called The Offer of Hermes Trismegistus. It's written right on it. You said you could do all sorts of things, so I assume reading is one of them. Am I right?
I can read. But I reckon that's the catch, isn't it?
The catch is, the chest is under lock and key, and most likely well guarded.
Of course it is. And then you'll get me into Semin's wedding?
Aye. If you help me, I'll find a way to get you there. Miller's honor.
Where exactly should I look for this document? I doubt they've only got one chest in the Troskovitz rat house.
I can't help you there, but my hand Zinnik might know more. He had the document on him, but then the bloody fool got caught because of something else, and they took it from him. I'm pretty sure he's still on display in the stocks on the square. Just remember, lad, if you get caught like he did, the guards will turn out your pockets. Then it would be pretty hard to explain what a tramp like you is doing with a document he can't even read.
Any advice on getting in there without being spotted?
Oh, come on. Do I really have to spell it out for you? Black clothes, a play of light and dark. A quiet night, and those who live in the shadows, concealed beneath its veil.
Is that supposed to be advice?
Just get some inconspicuous clothing and head over there after midnight.
And where can I get some clothes like that?
I had my outfit washed in the Zhilyoff bathhouse, but after a bit of disagreement, they refused to give it back. It's my gift to you. All you have to do is pick it up.
Pick them up? You want me to steal them, don't you?
Doesn't it sound like a suitable appetizer before the main course? There's no sense in trying to deal with the owner, Dorothy, anyway. She's a contrary woman who's impossible to talk to.
I'm not even surprised your paths crossed, all right? I reckon I know everything I need. Thanks.
Bless you. What'll it be?
I heard you have some clothes here that belong to Miller Kreyzl.
You're damn right I do. They're here waiting for him. Only I had to put them away in a chest in the loft. So I don't have to be constantly reminded of the debt Kreyzl racked up here. Taking his bloody time he is, the bastard. Those rags have been here for so long, the rats have got into them. Why do you care about them so much anyway?
The Miller mentioned them. Said I could take them.
Are you his new lackey or what? Did Zinnik start to get on his nerves?
Well,
Look, I don't really care who takes them. They're a bunch of boring rags. But if you only knew how much work it was to wash out them particular black stains and sew up the burn holes, and most of all, to wash out that awful stench of rotten eggs. Blah. Along with Kreyzl's debt, it'll cost you this much, including the price of soap.
Ah, come on, Dorothy.
What is it?
Wouldn't you rather I got rid of those clothes once and for all? Don't you know they're cursed?
Cursed? What do you mean, cursed?
Well, I'm not sure how well you know Kreyzl.
I know he's an odd bloke. Suspicious, too.
He's also in love. With you, that is.
He's in love with me? But what does that have to do with the clothes?
He enchanted them. Whoever washes them is hexed. It confounds their senses. Did you sense something in the air? Love, perhaps?
All I sense in the air are stale farts, and that's not how I imagine love.
Well, maybe the spell hasn't started working yet. You should give me the clothes before something happens.
Don't you worry. My first impression of Krezyl was so strong, I don't think any magic will be able to break through. Either you pay off the debt and the clothes, or leave me alone.
About Kreyzl's clothes.
You seem right obsessed with them boring old rags, lad. Oh, we had to wash them 7 times to get that stench of rotten eggs out of them. Ugh.
I might be interested in them.
Well, it seems they must be worth something, since they're in such high demand.
Fine, I'll pay. My God, that's a price fit for a king's wardrobe.
I told you, that's including the debt. You can sort that out with the miller yourself. Here's the key to the chest in the loft. There's some other forgotten rags lying around near it. That's how you'll recognize it. What are you giving me that look for? You're not going to make me go up and get them, are you?
I wouldn't dream of it. Yes! These will make me almost invisible.
Greetings.
Are you Zinnek?
Yeah, look, mate, I really need to piss. Can you let me out of here?
Kreyzl sent me. He's looking for some document the bailiff took from you.
And what's the password?
Mill wheel?
I'm just yanking your pizzle. You should have seen your face. They caught me at night when I was robbing a merchant, and then they make any distinction between what I stole and what I already had on me. They took everything, including that document, and locked it all away in the chest of stolen things in the rat house jail.
You could get into the jail from the courtyard behind the rat house. It's right under the guardhouse. Or you could get there from behind the tavern alongside the fence. As soon as you find the stairs leading down, you'll know you're in the right place.
Well, who's got the key to it?
Well, actually, I had it, but when the guard shook me down, I must have dropped it. It was in the chamber, next to the one with the chest. They've got a pretty soft bed in there, I tell you. The key probably fell under it.
Is that the only key?
No, of course not. Every guard in Troskovitz has one. Best to rob one of them who's slacking off or having a nap. Look, mate, do you actually know how to pickpocket?
Of course I do. Wouldn't be my first time.
Good to hear it. They'll let me go soon, so if you get caught, you'll have nobody to keep you company here. Keep that in mind.
Farewell and good night.
It happens. Just watch where you're going next time.
Can I spend the night here?
We're not really equipped for that here.
Just the one night's enough. All I need is to spend the night.
For a few groschen, there's some room on the hay.
All right? I'll pay. Here's some groschen for you.
Very well. Feel free to sleep on the hay, but don't go wandering around my home.
Hope they never show their faces here again. I'd advise them not to. They might have got away.
Where should I lie down?
You can sleep in the barn behind the cart, right next to the wood.
Ini barusan aku memutuskan untuk menginap ya teman-teman. Aku mau bayar penginapanku kalau saya yang permanen sih. Tapi kayaknya di sini kan kamarnya. Kayaknya nggak layak dia ngomong di jerami-jerami tumpukan sebanyak kandang. Oh di sini, oke. Jadi ini aku tidur dulu. Besok pagi kita bangun. Selesaikan nyembuhin HP dulu. Setelah itu kita lanjut ke misi untuk mengambil dokumen pencurian ya teman-teman, mengambil dokumen yang dilindungi oleh kota ini. Oke, lanjut. Sudah pagi, kita lanjut misi jadi agen. Kita sudah sampai di Troskovitz teman-teman, untuk menyelesaikan misi dari Miller. Jadi kita harus ngambil suatu dokumen ya di gedung ini ya, seperti kita lihat di sini. Kita harus mengambil dokumen dari Troskovitz Rathaus. Jadi ada di dalam misinya ini ya, Miller Krezyl. Seharusnya sih normalnya misi ini dilakukan itu waktu malam hari teman-teman, karena emang ini sistemnya ini apa? Harus mengendap-endap karena emang harus mencuri barang di dalam. Tapi berhubung aku pengen challenge sih, jadi aku pengen siang aja kita selesaiin ya teman-teman ya. Jadi mumpung sini kita akan ini aja ya, kita knockdown orang ini. Soalnya yang berjaga ada dua nanti, yang dalam sini, yang bawah situ sama yang ini. Jadi ini emang kalau kita masuk pasti dijaga, jadi harus kita knock dulu. Ini sangar sih siang hari. Jangan ditiru ya. Kecuali kalian kuat mental ini. Kita ambil kuncinya dahulu karena rencananya mau aku taruh di sini. Biar nggak ketahuan sih. Jadi takutnya ada yang patroli jaga. Mereka nanti ketahuan bangunin ya. Jadi aku nggak pengen rencanaku untuk di bawah ini ketahuan. Jadi bakal aku taruh ke dalam sini. Oke, terus aku tutup. Nah, dengan ini aman pastinya. Nggak ada yang tahu kan? Nice. Kita save. Aman. Terus tinggal di sini selanjutnya. Ada penjaga di sini satu. Kita buang dulu kakek batu, mengalihkan perhatian dia. Karena di sana kan penjaganya. Kalau kita jalan pasti dilarang. Jadi kita pancing ke sana. Sini dulu deh. Kok nggak bergeming deh. Nah. Apa? Terus kita buang sebelah sini. Nah, waktu dia jalan sana, kita jalan sana ya. Kita datangi ya. Oke, sekarang waktunya. Kalau sudah, langsung kita bekep. Siap-siap kalau kanan. Oke, nggak ada perlawanan ya. Nice. Pick up body ya. Terus kita taruh di tempat ini juga. Biar nggak terlalu banyak ngomel-ngomel. Nanti nggak ada yang ketahuan ya. Biar aman. Dibuka dulu. Oke, kita ambil lagi. Nah, gini wes aman teman-teman. Semua kita taruh sini. Kita nggak bunuh sih. Terlalu kejam kalau membunuh. Ini barang apa yang bisa diambil? Turnamen itu lumayan. Short chain mill benernya lumayan sih ini. Kita tuker barang kita kah? Oke, kita tukar aja ya teman-teman. Sama barang punya kita. Aku nggak punya kayaknya. Oh, ini short chain mill. Oh, Saxon ini ya. Tukar sama Saxon aja ya. Peringkatnya sama-sama 2. Ini maksimal kan 18, 37, 35. Oh, lebih bagus short chain mill. Oke, kita kasih ke dia aja. Nama uangnya ada nggak? Oh, ini juga bagus sih, half plate legs. Ambil. Oke, udah. Bisa kita pakai dong. Armory short chain mill. Aduh, sing ini ya. Oh, Gambison dulu. Bentar, kita ambil dulu ya. Ini barangnya. Misinya itu di sini soalnya. Oke, kita ambil. Ya ini. Ini ya, offer of Hermes. Ini barang yang harus diambil, teman-teman. Nice. Misi selesai. Sambil kita keliling-keliling, mungkin ada barang sesuatu mumpung kita di tempat terlarang. Oke, aman. Ada suara orang lewat kah? Aman ya kayak. Jangan naik ke atas ya. Nah, atas ini tempatnya musuh, tempatnya apa? Prajurit-prajurit. Ini malah ketahuan. Ini kita tutup. Oke, nice. Aman. Mission complete. Kita juga dapat barang bagus nih. Aku belum punya Gambison. Oh, ini buat yang baju lengkap sih. Ini kita ganti ke chainmail, simbol weapon rock. Oke. Ini ordinary code kita buang aja, sangat jelek. Nimrod code, oke lah, nggak apa-apa. Soalnya dipakai buat yang baju bebas ini, yang kuning ya. Nimrod code buat. Nah, ini buang aja. Loh, tunik beda ya sama baju code. Oh iya beda. Ini ya biar rumba-rumba ini ya. Nggak ada rumba-rumbanya kalau nggak punya code. Oke. Terus sama ini tadi lupa aku pakai pelindung legs ya. Sama, cuma ini masih kondisi bagus. Gak apa-apa, kita tukar aja. Ini kita buang. Oke, selesai. Berarti lanjut kita ke tempatnya sini ya teman-teman. Bring dokumen ke Miller. Karena kita sudah dapat dokumennya. Oke, setelah perjalanan kita sudah sampai di Miller. Kita mau nyerahin dokumen teman-teman. Sebelum tambah gelap banget. Dan kayaknya dia ada di dalam kamarnya. Sambil tahu ini mencari-cari barang. Yuk kita ajak ngomong Miller Krezyl, kita laporan, kita store tugas. Yuk. Aduh gelap. Mau ganti tempat aja, gelap ya. Tapi kayak gelap terus, ya udah nggak apa-apa lah ya. I have the documents, kita store.
I have that document from the rat house for you.
Excellent. I knew I could count on you.
Judging by the contents, it seems like you're dabbling in alchemy here at the mill.
That's not a bad guess. But don't forget about astrology, theurgy, transmutation, and a smidgen of demonology. Although that's something anyone with a grain of sense should avoid. Now show it to me, so I can finally get the knowledge.
Kita storein surat dokumen yang diinginkan oleh Kreyzl Miller.
Good. This will come in handy. Ah, yes, of course.
What now?
That much? We're going to need more. A lot more.
Did you hear me?
You hear
What
me?
now?
Sorry, I got lost in thought. I owe you my thanks as well as reward for getting me the document. And maybe
Nah, tugas lain?
another little
Kau mau?
job. What do you say?
Lah,
Don't tell me you
kau
forgot.
nggak butuh kerjaan.
I need to get to that
Kau
wedding.
cuma ingin
Send me.
bisa datang ke pernikahan di Senmin.
Your path is leading that way. Only it'll be a little
Ah,
longer.
dipermainin kayak kita ini. Are you kidding me? You promised me. Kamu sudah berjanji mau membawa aku ke tempat wedding.
You promised you'd get me into that wedding.
I did, but I didn't say.
Aku bilang,
when.
tapi aku nggak bilang kapan.
Besides,
Wah,
things are
nakalan.
about to get really interesting. Step by step, we're moving closer to the great revelation.
Ah,
Enough.
apa sih? Gak butuh hal
Sick of
omonganmu.
listening to your cryptic blabbering. Supposing you first initiate me into the mysteries of your enchanting mill. This isn't any run-of-the-mill business, so to speak. I smell something devilish here.
Devilish? Not at all. You guessed it. It's nothing less than high learning. Alchemy! And when I say alchemy, I mean real alchemy. Not some hocus-pocus brewing of potions for creaky joints and
Jadi intinya fokus
Tell me
kimia
more
ya,
about it,
bukan
then.
magic-magic.
Maybe I'll learn something useful.
I suppose. You are my apprentice, after all. You deserve to know what all of this is leading to. Now, pay close attention. I want to make a golem out of dough. Then, using secret alchemical practices and theurgy, bring him to life.
What's a golem?
A golem? What's that?
A golem is a helper brought to life using divine words. A living statue endowed with massive strength. Can be made of clay, wood, stone, basically anything. I'll make one out of flour. Studying the Jewish Kabbals taught me a practice known as Maseh Bereshit. A mystic can use it to imitate the work of God. Just imagine. You know how helpful a golem would be at the mill? Carrying sacks, pulling wagons, standing guard. He wouldn't be much smarter than Zinnik, but he'd have the strength of 10 men.
My word. That sounds incredible. I have to see it.
So far, it's just all in my head. But if you're patient and help me, you'll see soon enough. It's in the interest of the advancement and prosperity of mankind. Just look at the Bible. Moses could command the waters and speak to God through the element of fire. And Jesus brought the dead back to life. I've no doubt that if our great holy Mother Church had been around at the time, they'd have crucified Jesus the same as the Pharisees. And all the apostles would have been burned at the stake.
So a golem, you say, made of flour? For the good of mankind?
Exactly.
And what about the good of me? You promised me a reward.
You already know that you can learn the practical application of certain useful skills from me. But for a few groschen, we could discuss the art on a more, let's say, theoretical level.
I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. Supposing you give me a few groschen first, as a reward for bringing you the document, and then I'll decide whether to trade the coin for some learning.
Oh, see now, I completely forgot. Here you go. So you don't go around saying that Miller Kreyzl is a pinch purse. I added in what I owe for those sacks you carried. And if you want some more work, there's plenty.
I don't know, Kreyzl. Alchemy, golems, documents in locked chests. I reckon I've had enough. I'll have to think about whether I want to continue with this art of yours.
I get it. The greater good of mankind isn't everyone's goal. But don't forget, I can get you to that wedding. Miller's honor. Take care, friend.
What's this next job all about?
I need to find a saltpeter pit.
Never a wasted word, eh, Kreyzl?
Short and to the point. That's my credo.
And how long will it take before you tell me what a saltpeter pit is?
A saltpeter pit is a pit in which saltpeter is formed.
This has something to do with that alchemy of yours, eh? I don't know much about that stuff.
Nitra is saltpeter. White crystals similar to salt.
And what needs salting here in the mill? Or is it supposed to be some peculiar Kreyzl wedding gift for a young Semine?
Nothing of the sort. The Kabbalistic doctrine speaks of saltpeter as a vessel for the inexhaustible essence of life. Those white crystals are said to contain the very essence of being. That's precisely what we need to give life to our golem. Thanks to the ingredients from Hermes Trismegistos, his feet will never get tired, and his fists will have the power to smash rocks. But saltpeter is the most important thing. Saltpeter will be the golem's heart.
So you're serious about this golem? And are you certain it'll work out?
Certainly. Otherwise, I wouldn't even try.
How much saltpeter will it take to bring to life such a big creature?
A lot. That's why I want you to find me a decent saltpeter pit. Do you understand?
I was hoping I'd learn something useful from you. But instead, you're making me wander around the countryside looking for some pit.
Well, you never know when an experience like that might come in handy.
All right, then. I'll look around for that saltpeter pit of yours. I just hope you know where to look, that you can point me in the right direction, and also that you'll get me into that wedding as a reward.
Yes, yes, and yes. Bonnie has a lead. She's a damned handy girl to have around. She can do anything you ask of her. But for you, the most important thing is that she knows how to look for niter, or saltpeter if you prefer.
So this Bonnie is some kind of witch who's in on this golem stuff.
Bonnie is someone I trust without question, and you should too. Not only will she teach you how to find saltpeter, but also how to differentiate it from common salt. The main difference is it has kind of cooling taste.
Hold your horses. You want me to taste that nasty stuff?
If you don't taste it, you could confuse it with some nasty rot. And you don't want that.
Damn right.
Don't be such a lily-liver, Henry. If Bonnie can taste saltpeter, so can you. She'll tell you the rest herself. You'll find her in the lair. That's a secret storage space I have here just by the pond. Only my best people can get in.
How can I get to this lair?
There's a bridge over the mill stream towards the southwest. Take the path to the left, just behind it along the pond. From that path, you turn right, uphill, between the rocks, and you'll find yourself right in front of the lair. You can't miss it. Oh, and so I don't forget, you could pick some herbs along the way to see Bonnie. It would make her very happy. She's just been through some tough times. Her dog died, and on top of that, she has to spend time with that blabbermouth, Zinnik. On the other hand, Zinnik might be holding his tongue for a while after his encounter with the Troskowitz stocks.
If Bonnie spends time with Zinnik, she may want some spirits rather than herbs.
Bonnie? Never. Being a decent Christian, she avoids alcohol like the plague. Right along, so you're back as soon as possible.
To the lair.
God be with you.
Good day. Farewell.
Good evening. What do you need?
I'm Henry, Miller Kreyzl's new apprentice. He sent me to search for a niter pit, and said you might be able to help me with that.
Of course I will. I'm Bonnie. Nice to meet you.
Bonnie? It's not a name I hear often.
It's not the name I was baptized with. In our craft, it ain't a good idea to tell people your real name. That's why we use nicknames. What should we call you?
The Wolf of Skalitz.
Well, that's not very creative. You know what? I'll come up with a nickname for you myself when I get to know you better. Did you bring me something from the mill?
Actually, Kreyzl said you'd appreciate some herbs.
He's right there. Do you have some for me?
I've got something here.
My word, that's exactly what I need. The ingredients for the magic ritual.
What kind of magic ritual?
The kind where CEWEK finally gets some sense into his head and stops making stupid beginner's mistakes. Just so you know, that mess with the author of Hermes Trismegistos would never have happened to me. Not me. While we're on the subject of rituals, did Kreyzl tell you about the Golem?
He did.
And what do you think of it?
I'm curious to see what a golem made of flour will look like, but I'm mostly curious to see if Kreyzl will really be able to breathe life into it with the help of saltpeter.
I'm more worried that as soon as it comes to life, it'll slay us all with one blow. So, if by some chance it looks like something's going wrong, you won't see my heels for dust. And I suggest you do the same. But that's enough of that. We're not going to stand here talking about flower golems when we've barely just met. I'd like to chat with you too, Henry. Get to know you a bit. But if you're in a hurry to find Kreyzl's saltpeter, I won't keep you.
No, I have plenty of time. But where to start?
You know what? I'll start. When they caught CEWEK in Troskovitz, I was scared out of my mind that they'd catch me and clap me in the stocks. I had to hide out here for a while, so I haven't had anyone to talk to. Life in the lair isn't all fun and games. CEWEK and all the other mill knuckleheads were never worth much as company. So I'm glad the millers finally found a normal hand for once. You've got a beautiful dog. What's his name?
Mutt.
What a cute fella. How did you find each other?
He belonged to this girl I knew, Teresa. She saved my life in my hometown, Skalitz, when I went to bury my parents.
Well, that's what I call an interesting past. I used to have a dog, but I don't anymore.
He died.
He started getting these lumps all over his body. He stopped eating, just slept all the time. And then, well, what's done is done. And what about you? What kind of family are you from? Also, thieves?
I found myself following the path of the knight. My only brother now is my sword.
Oh, aye. Men these days solve all their problems in armor on the field, gouging each other's eyes out and hacking off each other's limbs. Where are the good old days when everything could be solved with a simple dagger stab or a nice strong cup of hemlock? Jesus, I sound like an old crone now, eh? And you know who else pines for the good old days? Kreyzl. What do you think of the old miller, anyway?
He seems awfully mystical. He has lots of experience, like as if he's lived for hundreds of years.
It's his beard that does that. Don't let it fool you. Thanks for talking to me. It really is good to have someone to pour my heart out to. But now, about that saltpeter. Before you came, and before CEWEK fucked up with the manuscript, we collected saltpeter all over the place, mainly in sties. It has to be scraped from the walls. Horrible work, time-consuming and annoying. I'm not going to lie to you. We also looked in a few chests, just in case. You know. Anyhow, now all the sties in the region are scraped clean and we're sitting pretty on a nice barrel of saltpeter.
Barrel is quite a lot.
For the whole Trotsky region, aye. Unfortunately, Kreyzl said we need at least 6 times as much.
6 times? Will one saltpeter pit be enough?
I reckon so. There should be as much as Kreyzl needs for his masterwork. If you're looking for it, you ought to know how saltpeter forms. Do you have any idea?
No, I don't. And Kreyzl, of course, didn't tell me shit.
Don't forget that saltpeter crystals are formed in places where something is rotting. It can be shit or carcasses. Well, a saltpeter pit is actually nothing more than a mass grave. The best natural saltpeter maker.
Kreyzl said saltpeter is a vessel for life energy. I get it that it's left over from dead bodies, but how do you get it from shit?
God's mysterious ways. You know how it is.
And he also wanted me to taste it. That's nonsense, though, isn't it?
Unfortunately, it isn't. Otherwise, you won't know if it's saltpeter or some other shit. It feels kind of cold on the tongue.
Jesus. And you know where to look for such a pit full of carcasses, do you?
Not exactly, but I have an idea. Times are evil and there's plenty of corpses. A person who's digging holes and throwing dead bodies into them and doesn't even know he's got a a saltpeter mine.
The local gravedigger?
Exactly. And the one we have here in the region is also the knacker.
Well, I haven't met him yet. Where can I find him?
The cemetery is beyond Troskovitz, towards the Apollonia rocks.
So I'm in for a walk to the cemetery.
Seems like it. Too bad you couldn't have walked around the county with us before. It was fun, and pretty useful experience. I learned a lot during that time, and I won't keep it to myself. I'd be happy to teach you something, if you want.
I'll keep that in mind.
That old gravedigger will be suspicious, so I'd bring him some kind of offering. He's always dragging those carcasses, so I'm sure he'd appreciate a slab of fresh meat from Troskovitz butcher.
Good idea.
He lives a short way from the cemetery, so at least the meat won't go bad on the way. Lots of luck, the Wolf of Scarlets. Take care now.
You must be the local gravedigger, right? I'm Henry.
Ignatius, master of the sod, at your service. Looking for a final resting place? Or do you need to bury a dead goat?
None of that. I have a different, slightly unusual request. Bonnie from Lower Semine sent me. We're looking for a saltpeter pit.
From Lower Semine? What pit?
A saltpeter pit.
I ain't never heard of nothing like that. What's it supposed to be? A pit to hell?
Nah, it's actually just a pit full of carcasses. These white crystals form on the walls of it, and that's exactly what we're after.
Ah, now I get it. You should have said you're looking for the pit I throw carcasses into. What's all this about Salty Peter? I'm going to go there anyway, so I'll take you there.
Really? That was easier than I thought.
Not even a chicken scratches in the dirt without hope of reward, though. You'll help me with something first. I have some collections from some Stratego farmsteads, and I'd be a fool if I didn't use a helping hand. At least one day I can take it a bit easy.
You want me to help you with your grave-digging business?
Why not? You look like a strong fella. You'll be a good helper.
I have a better idea. You tell me where I can find that pit, and I'll give you a nice piece of fresh meat for it.
I won't say no to that. Show me what you have. Oh, aye, fresh meat. What a feast that'll make. Now, listen closely. That pit of yours lies at the end of a long journey that we'll take together on my wagon.
So you got meat out of me for nothing?
When I see how much you lot in Lower Samine are interested in it, I'm not just going to hand it to you on a plate. But thanks for the meat, and don't worry about a thing. Grave digging is a job like any other. Sooner or later, everyone needs our services. And if it wasn't for us knackers, folk would have to deal with their animal carcasses themselves.
Of course, I understand. I'm just a little worried about what people will say about me when they see me with you. I wouldn't like to lose the honor I've earned as squire to a nobleman.
Don't worry about what people say. They'll only strip you of your honor if you let them. So what then? Shall we take a nice little ride with my boys Snorter and Dragonfly here? Nice and early, at daybreak.
Let's get this over with then.
Didn't you understand me? We ain't going nowhere now. Like I said, be here at daybreak. That's between night and day. Do you understand?
I understand. I'll come at dawn. I don't know if I'm completely ready for this, but let's get going.
The dew is still on the leaves. The roads are clear. Hop on the wagon and Snorter and Dragonfly here will take care of us. Did I bring that stuff for Visor? Come on then, get a move on. We've got a long journey ahead of us, so get yourself comfortable so your arse won't hurt. So, you say you're from Lower Samine, eh?
Well, you could say that. I help the miller with whatever I can. I've got a place to sleep there. Soon I'll be able to call the miller uncle.
I remember Kreyzl when he was still a wee lad. Even then he was a great big smart-ass. When I buried his parents, he was traipsing somewhere through the world. Maybe you heard what they say about Lower Samine round these parts. Kreyzl don't sell short measure, not that. He looks out for his reputation, but his helpers have been seen often in the villages after dark, looking fishy. Or during the day, in the pillories. Don't that bunny of yours belong to that gang too?
Unfortunately, she does. Krezyl ordered Bonnie and her accomplice Zinek to scrape saltpeter off the walls of the sties. And when they had a chance to loiter about in the yards here in the region, well, they made good use of the opportunity to line their purses.
Ay, ay, ay. What have I gotten myself into in my twilight years? Lower Samine's a thorn in the side for a lot of folk. Some on account of the competition. Some is just rubbed up the wrong way by that Kreyzl. Either way, all they need's the slightest excuse to grab their pitchforks. Go and grab the miller and shove his face right in his own millstone. Yeah! Yeah! Whoa, boys, whoa! Come on, come on! Are you deaf? Oh, they're acting stubborn again. Now listen, Henry. Here on the left side, you'll see the ruins of a cottage that's been abandoned for a few years.
It looks mysterious. What treasures might be hidden there?
You'll soon see. I have a trap set inside the cottage. I wanted to lure a wolf into it, but that didn't work out. There's a deer rotting there unnecessarily. So hop in there and bring it to the wagon. Finally, at least we're not blocking the road too much.
Oh, Jesus, what a stench. Better quickly throw it in a sack and take it back to the wagon.
Who's thinking? Put that carcass down and get over here. You hear me?
What's going on, Ignatius?
Ah, I'm trying to explain to these fellas we've got nothing to do with no thieving around here. They should go to Lower Samine to complain.
Two stinking pieces of shit was sneaking around our sties and cellars and lining their purses with silver too while they was at it. Some scruffy and dunger. You must be scruffy, eh?
I'm Henry, and those, names mean nothing to me.
Like I said, if it's rotten carrion they're after, they should have come to me. A passion for knacking is the only thing we have in common.
Is that so? So prove it then.
Ignatius is telling the truth. There are all sorts of types causing trouble in these parts. Not just from Lower Samine. Ignatius and I thank you for taking on the job of guarding the roads, making sure that honest, if somewhat grubby tradesmen stay safe.
Aye, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So, thanks.
Really good work, lad. Well, time waits for no man. Let's all carry on with our duties, eh?
All right, listen. We'll be going then. If you happen to run into them two thieves, you tell us right away, got it?
Of course.
You can count on it.
Glad to hear it. Let's go, fellas. Maybe...
Do you want to keep going or not?
Not much left for us to do here, eh?
Hopefully our luck will hold out, and we'll only be breaking the limbs of carcasses today. The next farm's just up ahead. Hop on, and let's go. That was just a kind of little favor for me. Now we'll help the locals here in HADIAH with their carcasses.
So far, I've just carried sacks. I already did that for the miller.
Yesterday, the good wife from that farm came and told me both their pigs died. So we'll scoop them up and haul them off. I mean, you'll scoop them up and haul them to my cart. She says it was a curse. There was a flash of lightning, the pigs started trembling, squealing and puking, and then keeled over and dropped dead.
And then Satan himself appeared in the sky. Happens all the time.
It ain't my first day doing this job, so I could see right off them pigs had been poisoned. The good wife swore them pigs were happy as, well, pigs in shit. She said they even let them go to a nearby stream to have a wallow. It flows here through the forest on the right. Since we're here, you ought to go and take a look around there. Check how clear that spring really is.
All right. I'll see what's going on there.
And I'm going to enjoy having a helper. At least for one day. Maybe I'll roll around in the grass here with Snorter and Dragonfly. Lazy bones.
Those pigs came here to drink. Where to now? I can smell something upstream. Ah, here it is. Wolves must have killed them. They didn't even eat them up. I'll go and tell Ignatius. It really wasn't a curse. There are rotting carcasses in the water upstream from the watering spot. No wonder the pigs caught some disease.
Well, what do you know? I was right. I'll give you a hand. It'd take you all night on your own.
Jesus, this is disgusting. Yeah. And another.
So, what do you think, Dragonfly? How's he doing? Do you want to keep going or not?
I took care of the carcasses. We can drive on.
Nice work. There's even a bit of meat left for me.
Yeah, you'd eat that. They've been lying there God knows how long.
But nicely in the coal. There's nothing wrong with it. Anyway, you won't be eating it, so don't worry about it. Let's keep going. Seeing as how you don't obey me, you're surely horsing around today. So far it ain't that bad, eh? You don't have to take down no hanged man or bury an unbaptized child.
Well, ever since I started working for the miller, all I did was carry sacks. The sack makers here in the region must live like kings. Of course, it could be a lot worse.
I like having to carry sacks full of thistles. Now listen to me closely. You won't be carrying anything at the next farmstead. Instead, you'll have to make one carcass there. See, the work of a knacker ain't just about clearing away dead animals. Now and then you've got to put down some creature, so it don't suffer. Or, like today, to put it down so everyone around it don't have to suffer. In this case, we're talking about a dog.
Well, what can I do? But I doubt I'll feel good about it.
That cur belongs to the greengrocer, Vizar. I've heard they're both pretty fierce. Don't draw too much attention to yourself at the farmstead. I'll give you some Aesop potion to drink first, and some meat and bane. Soak the meat with the poison and throw it to the dog. He'll probably be locked in a pen somewhere. As soon as it's done, we'll disappear before anyone notices anything. I got paid well for it from the neighbors, so don't fuck it up for me. Yeah! 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 God bless you.
Oh, Sakra. The dog isn't here. The door's open. Where did he run off to? Heel! Barking. He's coming from over there.
Where'd you come from?
Bonnie? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
First, tell me what you're doing here. And how come you're with that beast?
He's no beast. I came here to save him.
You mean steal him?
For him, it'll be a redemption from that whoreson master of his. I'll take care of him, in place of my poor dead sniffer.
Bonnie... The gravedigger sent me to kill the dog. He's been paid to do it by the people whose livestock that beast killed. It's the last thing I need to do before he shows me the pit.
It's not the animal's fault. When CEWEK and I were here last, I saw how old Vysaric treats him. He doesn't give him food, he abuses him. With a master like that, he won't last long. You wouldn't kill a dumb creature just because its master is a sick whoreson, would you?
Well, you don't have to convince me. Ever since the gravedigger told me to do it, I've been trying to figure out how to save that dog. If you want to take him, I won't stop you.
You're a much better Christian than I thought you were. I'll take him to the lair. We'll meet there.
Hurry off now, before someone sees us together.
Come on now, boy. You'll like it in the lair.
doggy. Good boy.
It's taken care of.
Taken care of? What do you mean?
I set the dog free. He didn't deserve to die.
For fuck's sake, didn't deserve to die? We were supposed to get rid of him, because that's just what he deserves.
Bonnie from the mill came and took the dog before we got to him.
Well, fuck me. How much more is that girl going to steal before she has enough?
Oh, she'll take better care of him than Baysar did. All he needs is to be fed properly, and he won't be dangerous anymore.
I surely fucking hope not. Because if he runs off and ravages something or someone again, then we didn't help at all. Let's go before we start looking suspicious.
So this is it. This is the pit.
Slowly, boy. Slowly. Have a bit of respect. Death always deserves respect, whether it's people or animals.
But there's hardly 3 heaps here. Is this really it? Are you yanking my pizzle again?
Of course not. True, it used to be one big pit. But then I found out when you pile up carcasses in smaller pits and throw some wet hay between them, it all rots better. And the better it rots, the more niter you'll have. Are you going to take some right away?
I won't. The miller will probably send some people here.
Well, they'd better not dig it all up. That'd disturb the natural balance, see? And soon they'll find out there's no place to find saltpeter.
Well, I reckon I'm delaying the inevitable. I'll still have to taste it.
You're going to taste it?
It's the only way I can be certain it really is saltpeter.
God's nails. And they say I'm disgusting. Wait a moment. I've got a reward for you. Just so's you don't think old Ignatius and his even older nags is ungrateful riffraff. Take it as a thanks for your help. Maybe you'll take over my trade one day when I'm pushing up daisies myself.
Who knows? Maybe that'll really be my fate. I'll live at the cemetery, build piles of carcasses, and eat bread with saltpeter.
Here's something that'll definitely come in handy if you ever need to go through all this again. Either with me or somewhere else.
Thanks.
Taste it then. Get to it. This I have got to see. You didn't have to make such a feast of it.
Look at me. I'm the Lord's messenger to a taster of cadavers. Cold and salty. This must be it. If you're going back to your cottage, I'd like to take a ride with you.
Of course. But in return, you have to help me get all this lot buried. So there's some more saltpeter in the making.
Good day.
I found the place where we can harvest saltpeter. You just head out of Troskovitz towards Apollonia, carry on alongside the road, then head off it at the right spot. Only it's not a pit, it's 3 piles of earth. The gravedigger Ignatius drove me there himself.
And is it the real stuff? Did you taste it?
Yeah. And I hope I never have to do that again. Ugh. I think the experience has changed me forever.
Oh, come on. You whine more than cynic. It's just commonplace salt. I was hoping it'd be closer. To go all the way to Apollonia. If I send 2 wagons, that should be enough.
What should I do?
That means I could mix a barrel and a half.
Kreyzl, focus. What else do you need from me?
Oh, sorry. What were you asking? About a reward? It's right here.
Thanks. How's it going with the Golem?
Well, the whole thing is really appealing to a scholar of my field of interest and important for humanity. But certain circumstances have emerged which, unfortunately, move its creation somewhere further into the future.
Wait, what do you mean? So there won't be any Golem?
Not for now.
What about all the niter? The life essence?
I admitted to myself it's maybe too much to take on, and I decided to go back to my roots.
So the search for saltpeter was for nothing?
Not at all. The saltpeter will help us create primordial matter. The origin. Chaos. Materia prima.
God. Here we go again.
As alchemical scholars, we actually have only one task before us. To penetrate the diaphanum and find out where it gets its disposition and power from. Only then will we understand the nature of the shadows.
Eh?
I'll explain it to you.
Tell me then, what's the next task then, Kreyzl?
From behind the closed gates of Trotsky come quiet whispers, carried by the wind, all the way here to me in the mill. Do you hear it too?
No. Reckon my ears aren't that good.
Scribe Erezim received a trunk from Prague, and in that trunk was...
The document of Hermes Trismegistos?
No, a book. And from an author more venerable than Hermes. It's thin, with a sand-colored cover, embossed. Ordinary at first glance, but the treasure's inside. You might say it's kind of an alchemical cookbook.
So I'm gonna have to pick some locks again, eh? And in the castle, no less. I'd like to know how I'm supposed to get in there. Trotsky is shut tight.
For some. The gates of Trotsky may appear to be closed to us, mere mortals. But why try to force your way in when there's a person they'll invite in themselves?
What person?
Hold on, we'll get to that. We've got the Samine wedding coming up. I can't wait to try out my new potion against drunkenness there. What about you? You still need to get there?
Certainly. It's why I decided to work for you. Or have you forgotten? I hope your promise still stands.
Of course it does. What do you take me for? Start by quickly finding some decent clothes. Ad charisma tuendum. You look like a vagabond in what you're wearing now. St. Paul wouldn't be pleased with you.
So you'll really get me into that wedding? Am I dreaming?
No, you're not. But before you start celebrating, we won't be going by ourselves. We'll have company. Or, to be more exact, the two of us will be accompanying a certain person. Me as a friend and host, and you as a bodyguard, loyal servant. Call it what you will.
And who is this mysterious person?
A true lady will come to the wedding with us. Radiant as the morning star, refined as pure gold. All will be stunned by her beauty. And she'll be our lockpick that will find the weak spot in the gate to Trotsky. All it'll take is a little push. And clunk! The lock will open, and the book will be mine.
What weak spot?
The castle's weak spot is Chamberlain Ulrich, because he himself has a weakness for women. Of all the single damsels at the wedding, ours will be the most charming and irresistible for him. Noble or not, he's a mortal man, and he'll start to think with his male member. We will watch as he becomes feverish with lust. Soon he'll be begging to take our companion to Trotsky. He'll pretend his motives are pure, so she'll be more comfortable. And when the Chamberlain becomes insistent, you, as her personal bodyguard, will accept his offer. Naturally, you'll say you won't leave her side so you can defend her honor. Once in Trotsky, Ulrich will do everything to get you to leave him alone with her. And that will be your chance.
I can hardly believe that you, of all people, would come up with such a straightforward plan.
Well, it's not all that straightforward. I admit there's a certain element here that makes everything more complicated. First, we have to find our gracious lady.
Where do you want to find this lady? Here.
Look, she doesn't have to be a lady per se. We just need a wench with a pretty face. We'll get her a nice dress, some perfume. She doesn't even have to speak. We'll do the talking.
Could Bonnie do it?
She could. The only hitch is everyone and his dog knows her face. Nobody with any sense would let her into the Samin wedding.
So some bathhouse wench would do?
Aye, that should work. You can find lots of capable girls at the Jelly-Off baths, including some who aren't so well known. It's true, Dorothy can be a bit unpleasant, but you'll be giving her an offer she can't refuse.
Well, the last time I dealt with her getting your disguise washed, she was quite delightful.
You'll tell her I'm offering enough groschen to buy 2 cows or a small cottage. That should soften her up.
All right, I'll take care of it.
Excellent. You're a talented, likable youngster, like Knight Roland of yore. I have complete faith in you. And don't forget, we're going to need to dress the girl up and make her smell nice so she comes across like a real lady. So, stop off at Troskowitz as well and get her a nice brocade dress and some long-lasting perfume. Mintha would be ideal.
Where can I find the dress?
Where do you think? The butcher's? Go and see the tailor. Bartoszek has just the thing in his shop. A beautiful red dress made of Tyrolean brocade.
Why that dress exactly?
Because red is the color of love and passion. The rich Tyrolean brocade is just begging to be touched. Ulrich won't know where to look. The dress is likely to be pretty expensive, but that's no obstacle for you, right?
Where can I find the perfume?
Emmerich the apothecary might have something. They say he makes some perfume for his wife. Or ask Betty the innkeeper. She may be a god-awful battle axe, but a nice-smelling one. Or get hold of the recipe and make your own Mintha. As an alchemy apprentice, you should be able to manage.
I'll be going then.
Once you've got everything ready for the wedding, we'll meet in front of the fortress gate. There, I'll let our lady in on some other details of our plan. But that won't be for your ears. Anyway, you'll be rehearsing your speech to Lord von Berghoff then, won't you?
I can't wait.
You silly doggy. You're up bright and early today. What would you like?
Kreyzl has an offer for you.
That old goat always sends you whenever he needs something. What does he want this time?
Get this. He's looking for a girl for Chamberlain Ulrich himself.
For Ulrich?
For Ulrich von Schaumburg. Aye. For the Samin wedding. She should act all graceful, like a lady.
Well, I don't know if any of my girls could pull that off.
No need to worry. We'll take care of everything.
How much is he offering?
He says he can offer enough groschen for you to buy 2 cows. Or a small cottage.
It's quite a lot for our usual services.
Isn't it?
But that ain't nearly enough for certain services.
I don't understand. An offer like that? What's the problem?
You know what? I'm tired of this. Let's go and see what the girls have to say. They'll tell you about what they've been through with the Master Chamberlain. Girls, come here. Right, girls. We have a messenger here from Goodman Kreyzl. Tell us what you wanted to ask.
Well, it's about the Master Chamberlain.
He's looking for a girl for the Semine wedding.
God, anything but that. Dorothy, I actually have a lot of work to do, and...
Well, who wants to go first? Anna.
What should I say?
What should she say?
Tell me, why don't you want anything to do with the Chamberlain?
Well, the Lord Chamberlain invited me to Trotsky, and the girls warned me that it would be different to what I was used to. So I asked him if I should take a different soap or something. Or does the Master Chamberlain not like silk? Or if his bed is hard and my back will hurt. If only. But they said I'd have to do things that... How'd you put it? Things they haven't even thought of in hell. I thought the Master Chamberlain might be of a different religion, and that fucking a Christian girl would be a sin. But he believes in the same God as the rest of us. Which makes it all the worse. Then I thought maybe he was cruel to the girls, but I hear that's not the case either. It's not what he wants to do to us that's against God, but what he wants us to do to him.
I thought he had leprosy.
Tell the girls how much Kreyzl is offering.
Enough that you'll be able to buy 2 cows.
Or even a small cottage. Not bad, eh? Well, is anyone willing to go with the Chamberlain?
Not even for a golden goose. I'd rather be celibate.
I thought he had leprosy.
Aye, but it's a tidy sum. I reckon I'll have to choose one of you myself.
Dorothy, I swear that I'm not going anywhere. You can't make me. Dorothy, I'll scrub all the tubs here for the rest of my life. I swear. All of them. Every day. I'll do that too. And I'll even take care of the outhouses.
Girls, come now.
I'll go then. If I can handle it a second time, it'll be a miracle. And maybe they'll even make me a saint.
No, you can't. Dorothy, please don't make her do that again. Dorothy, for the love of God.
Calm down, girls. Don't worry. I'll never send you to the Chamberlain again. I just wanted to show Kreyzl's lackey here what you've been keeping from me for so long.
Christ almighty. I was starting to accept my fate.
God in heaven. Oh, I feel filthy just thinking about it. I'd like to jump in a bath.
So, in case you didn't get the message, lad, no girl from Zhelyov is going with the Chamberlain.
All right. What am I supposed to do now?
Do what you like. We've said our piece. Go and find some heathen girl. A harlot like that came here recently, asking for work. She was from them nomads.
Aye, I remember her. Nose in the air, talking fancy like some scholar. She introduced herself as Emmeline of Winterthur, like she was a noble woman.
I didn't trust her for a moment. She was pretty, though. There's no denying that. I wanted to give her a chance, but she asked for so much coin. Thought I must be hearing things. Try asking after her in the camp. Maybe she's got a stronger stomach than my girls.
Poor thing.
I'll pray for her.
Well, thank you.
God grant you help.
Greetings. I apologize.
God be with you. What would you like?
Are you Mistress Emmeline of Winterthur?
Winterthur, Lyon, Vienna. It doesn't matter. What do you want?
I'm Henry. I was sent by Miller Kreyzl. We have a job offer for you.
Huh. How did you find out about me?
Your reputation precedes you, miss.
All the way? You're only saying that to please me, aren't you? But it's sweet of you. But be that as it may, what's the job?
To go to the Semine wedding with us. As a companion.
A wedding, you say? The last time I was at a wedding was in Nevers, France. I had to sing there. I'd like to avoid that this time.
You don't have to sing. Or even say much. All you have to do is behave like a lady.
Behave like a lady? Do you mind? I am one. Or hadn't you noticed?
Sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
All right, then. How much?
Kreyzl's offering enough to buy 2 cows.
Cows? Me? I was offered an estate for my services in Antwerp, and a 30-foot gondola in Venice. Although this is only Trotsky after all, I can't expect too much in this backwater. All right then, I'll do it. But first, tell me this. What can I expect at this Semine?
Instead of singing, you'll be able to dance.
Lovely. And what else?
Well, the stables in Semine are renowned. The groom will certainly show you the finest horses they have. They might even let you mount one.
Tempting, tempting. And what else?
Naturally, the father of the bride, Bailiff Thrush, will be there. Someone will surely introduce you. At such an occasion, the second most important man in the domain is sure to put in an appearance. The Chamberlain of Trotsky, Sir Ulrich von Schaumburg.
The Chamberlain, as in the castle caretaker. I'm not interested in some little clerk.
You should be. He's the one Kreyzl wants you to pay attention to at the wedding.
Pay attention? How?
So you two can... How can I put it? You know, get friendly. Intimate. In a romantic way, if you get me.
I beg your pardon. Do you take me for some cheap whore? A harem girl? A brothel wench? A bathhouse hussy?
That's the plan. And
Silence! I am an Elaine, a companion, a courtesan. I am courted by gentlemen vying for my favor. I have been a concubine in Krakow, a mistress in Venice, and a gentleman's companion in Basel. My name is known in Brandenburg, Marseille, and Malopolska. I have fulfilled the wildest wishes of the most important commanders of Sigismund's army. Until he stopped paying, the ginger bastard, I'll do my work the way I see fit. Got that?
all right. Got it.
I should hope so. So, to the point. What do you want from the Chamberlain?
It's mainly about a book we need to borrow from Trotsky. And the way to get it leads right through the Chamberlain and his quarters. And maybe through his bed. I don't know the exact details. Kreyzl will tell you himself.
So, common theft. That's a bit of a disappointment. I've played a part in assassinations and rebellions, and now I'm reduced to this, helping to steal a book. But why not? I expect it won't be anything too complicated, and the coin is certainly worth it.
Not so fast. It won't be that easy with the Chamberlain.
Why do you think that?
Just so you know, Kreyzl originally wanted to take a bath wench to the wedding, but the girls said they didn't want anything to do with him because of his special tastes. I asked them what's behind it, and, well, some wanted to vomit after meeting him. Others said they started considering the convent.
Poor girls. Here in the arse end of the world, girls are no doubt used to just lying on their backs and staring up at the ceiling.
Well, it seems it's not about what Chamberlain Schaumburg did to them, but what he wanted them to do to him.
I knew a Schaumburg from Nuremberg, and he was a hermaphrodite. He had both, things. A respected person, a member of the town council. It can catch you off guard, because you don't know what you're getting into. Maybe it's also the case with the local bath wenches. But I don't want to make fun of the girls. Not everyone wants to try new tricks, if you know what I mean. I must say, I'm quite curious about the Chamberlain now.
You're taking it bravely.
Believe me, it takes a lot to shock me. I'm not easily frightened, and just in case, there's this potion I carry around. A couple of drops and the Chamberlain will sleep like a log. Except I've run out of wine. I should have some at hand, just to be sure.
There'll be lots of wine at the wedding.
I suppose. But I won't complain if you find me something beforehand. There's one more thing, though. I don't think anyone will believe I'm a lady in these old rags.
Don't worry about that. Kreyzl told me to get hold of a dress and some perfume for you.
What dress?
A red one. Tyrolean brocade.
Brocade. I like it. Kreyzl clearly knows what he's doing. Are you going to the wedding as well?
As your bodyguard.
You should get some nice clothes for yourself in that case. You don't look too terrible, but there's always room for improvement. And as for that perfume, it ought to be one that lasts a long time.
Kreyzl suggested Minter.
I'll take his word for it. Hurry up, then. We don't want to keep the Chamberlain waiting.
Good day.
God be with you. What would you like?
About the things for the wedding.
Yes.
I'll have a dress for you. What do you think?
My, oh my. That is very pretty. Fine handiwork. I'd tidy up the seams a bit, but so be it. We're not in a city, let alone Innsbruck. Thanks.
I'll have some perfume for you. Will this do?
My God! It smells just like the yellow headband I wore in Pisa. It brings back memories. Thanks.
I brought you some wine.
Oh, you remembered. Thank you.
A trifle. I've brought you everything you asked for. Are you ready to leave for Semi?
I am. Once you're ready, just say the word.
Can we go to Semi now?
I see you're already dolled up. And you don't look bad at all. Looking like that, you'll be fending girls off with a stick.
Good to hear. Should we go?
Hold on a while. I'll get washed and dressed. then we can go.
Welcome, Miller. Who are your companions?
Who do you think? More guests.
Krezyl, my friend. So you've arrived. And you're bringing company?
Sir, allow me to introduce Miss Kvyeta from Kolin. She's an acquaintance of mine. That is, I knew her parents. They were burghers.
I was passing by, and Miller Krezyl was kind enough to ask me to accompany him. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. I wouldn't turn away a visitor from so far away.
Lord Sameen, why didn't you tell me you were expecting a lovely lady?
I'm just as surprised as you are. This is good wife Kvyeta.
Miss Kvyeta, from Kolin. It's an honor, Master Chamberlain.
And what brings you here, Henry?
I'm accompanying Miller Krezyl.
Henry helps me around the mill, so I asked him to come along to attend to Miss Kvyeta. She doesn't know anyone here, so I didn't want to leave her alone.
The services of your lad will not be required. I'll be happy to take care of Miss Kvyeta. Of course, only if she wants to.
It would be an honor, Master Chamberlain.
You can leave, boy.
But, Master Chamberlain, you wouldn't just send Henry off, would you?
There's plenty of food and drink, and my door is always open for Henry.
Thank you. What about Lord von Bergov? Has he arrived yet? I'd love to meet him.
The Royal Chamberlain is certainly not interested in the likes of you, boy.
Well, he hasn't arrived yet anyway.
I'm sure he'll come. You don't have to worry, sir.
I hope so. We can't hold off the ceremony until evening.
Oh, plenty of daylight left. At least you can get rid of those flea-ridden beggars by the gate in the meantime.
What? They're back? Tuma! Didn't I tell you to chase them away?
I drove them off, but they came back.
Close the gate so the guests don't see them. They must be gone by the time Lord von Berghoff arrives. Every last one, you hear?
Oh dear, oh dear. Why so angry, sir? You seem a little jumpy. Surely not because of Sir Otto.
Of course it's because of him. What if it all ends up in disgrace? What if he turns up at the gate and leaves? I know he's capable of that.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Thanks, but I can't ask that of you. What kind of host would that make me?
If the boy offers voluntarily, you shouldn't turn him down. If he proves himself, perhaps we can introduce him to Lord von Berghoff as a reward, if that's what he wants.
I promise I won't bring shame on you.
We'll see. I've got to make some arrangements with the cook, but come and see me later. In the meantime, you can introduce yourself to the bailiff's son, Svartepluk, over there. You're the same age, so I think you'll get along just fine.
See now, Henry? I'm sure he could point you out some pretty lasses.
There's plenty of other entertainment, too. Bailiff Thrush is holding a dice tournament, and Captain Gnarly a dueling contest. In short, a proper wedding. Eat and drink to your heart's content. Rejoice! It's a big day for Sameen.
One more thing, sir.
What else? Did I forget something?
They're, weapons.
Yes, of course. Please leave your weapons with Tuma. You surely understand it's for security.
Ya, sudah berakhir selesai teman-teman untuk misi dari Wedding Crasher ini. Kita sudah menyelesaikan 2 jalur, yaitu jalur Blacksmith Radovan dan Miller Krezyl di jalur pencuri ini. Semua berakhir dengan ending yang sama, cuma jalur yang berbeda. Dan setelah ini kita akan masuk ke misi inti. Jadi jangan lewatkan video selanjutnya Kingdom Come dari Tatuto, karena kita akan lanjut ke misi utama yang lebih seru lagi. Semuanya, terima kasih yang sudah menonton dari awal sampai akhir. Sampai jumpa di video selanjutnya. Bye.